I'm calling with this shop talk. Come on in and check it out. It's always real, it's always funny, and I promise you, it's always live.
Hold me tight, let me go. In my heart, hurt my soul.
Never know your soul, never know your heart.
Make me smile, make me frown.
Well, man, you remember when we used to go to, what's that club? It was on Freedom Drive. Was it Mr. P? Mr. P's.
Back in the corner.
Back in the corner. Back in the corner. Hey, we used to go to Mr. P's, and we used to hang there with them girls from Queens College.
Right.
One night, me and Daryl left there, and we're taking them home. And we got them to the campus, dropped them off, and went to the store right there across from, was it Presbyterian Hospital?
Yeah,
The Exxon from Mercy, CP.
Yeah.
Man, I get out the back seat, and I go into the store. I buy a Sunkist soda with bag of Doritos. By the time I come out the cooler with the soda, it's 2 police officers pointing their guns at me, telling me freeze, don't move. In my mind, I'm like, what the hell Darren did outside? The police, they be in here messing with me. So bad. You know what I'm saying? And Woo ain't even the kind of people,
Now, Woo listens to music now. That's how
and his mama ain't gonna play it, so I know Darren don't get down like that. That's why he's a good dude. So I'm in here scared to death. Like, what the Daryl outside, he said the police officer got shotguns on him, tell him to keep his hand on the steering wheel, unlock the door, open the door, but when he moves his hand, they tell him to freeze, don't move. So it's like, he can't do nothing. Come to find out, the lady had been robbed the night before by 2 black guys. That was the only description they had, that it was 2 black guys. And she was in there the next night. And when she saw me get out the back seat of the car, not knowing we had just dropped the girls off, I'm just going to get something to drink and something to snack on the ride home. She hit the panic button. And when she hit the panic button, them police came from everywhere. I mean, like we had done something. And if I hadn't been, yes sir, no sir, Moti sir, I might have been laid stretched out because, hey, another black youth doing something he ain't got no business. They'd have portrayed their image of me being bad. But all of us are not bad.
But all they had was 2 blacks.
2 black dudes. That's all
black
they had.
dudes. So when you go back and you look at the Trayvon Martin, as you had a soda and some chips. Trayvon had Skittles
And iced tea.
and iced tea.
I still get mad when I think about that.
You know, man, it's amazing. It's amazing how, just on the other side of town, when you were younger, we were close to the same age. When I was 12, we got off the school bus, and I was a tutor because I was one of the smarter kids. So, we got off the school bus, and it was a set of woods, and there was a path through the woods, and you had to run through the path to get to your neighborhood, to get to where your apartment complex was. So we shot through the neighborhood. Shot through the path and came out on the side. The officer laid us down, and we came out to a pistol being drawn to us. That was probably one of the biggest pistols I had ever seen at 12. I'm looking at 357. I had seen things on TV, but I never, I was straight a kid.
Right.
So I'm thinking, what now? It'd have been different if I had been one of the hard kids I'd been doing. But you think you're 12 years old. What could you have done so bad to make this officer pull his pistol out and say, get on the ground? So while we're getting down, I asked him, for what? What do we do? Shut up, MF this, MF that. And that's something that I got stamped in my brain, how this white officer was pointing his pistol at us and telling us to get down, and all we did was run through the woods. And so when he got our names and whoever they were looking for, they said, no, some older kids. Neither one of us was 13 yet. He said, so I'm gonna let y'all go. And I asked him, why'd you stop? Why'd you let me lay down? He said, because you look like somebody that I was looking for, and you look like you had done something because all y'all was running. What you running for?
It's
6 o'clock and it's dark. And I had one of those crazy mamas, and I said, when the light come on, even if you're getting out of the school bus, you better hurry up and get in the house. You put all 3 locks on the door. And that's just what we had to do. You know what I mean? But to go through that. But I had a prior experience at 7. I was in another neighborhood, and because I didn't know where I was at, one of the houses that we was close to was a drug house. I'm 7. We playing kickball and playing baseball with a bat and a tennis ball. So So a lot of people don't know about that.
Nah,
You know.
kid nowadays, no.
Yeah.
No.
So you know, we playing baseball, and the SWAT come out with guns bigger, longer than our bodies were, and they said, "Look, you better not run." So the guy's mama said, "Baby, all y'all get on the ground." You know, back then, if you had a house, you know, in the neighborhoods we grew up in, it was just dirt. So you laying face down in some red dirt, while these officers are standing over you with guns. Now, at this point, the guns are pointed at the house, and a couple of them are pointed down at us while we're laying on the ground. It's 3 kids. You got machine guns on 3 kids.
But you know what, I don't mean to interrupt you, but just like you said, you 12, you 7. Then you said you got it at 12. Think about the 12-year-old kid they got killed because he had a toy gun in his hand. 2 seconds, now hold on, 2 seconds. The cop didn't even get out of the car and say, freeze, put the gun down, nothing. Got out the car and shot the kid.
And if you hear the audio, they were saying how he looked to be 21 years of age, that child. And I said, there's no way that 12-year-old child can look to be 21 years old.
Well, see,
and when I saw his photo, it was no way. And being a mother is disheartening to me because I have.
You know, when you think about the officer's perception, you know, of course, they're gonna make it seem as if what they've done is right. You know, I'm not saying all police officers are bad because I'm not gonna say that because not all of them are. But the ones that are, they have this thing, this code of silence inside there when they're gonna cover each other, you know, hard as they can. That officer got out and told a lie. He said he first told the little boy 3 times to drop his weapon. Then he said he told the little boy something else, but when he realized he'd been videotaped, all that changed.
All of it changed.
You know, and the intellectual person gonna say, well, wait a minute, what did you do when you saw this kid and you immediately got out the car and your next step was to shoot him dead without telling him to freeze, without telling him to stop? And that's simply because you have a disregard for this black kid's life. And you no longer being held accountable for anything you do because you're going to always make it seem as if something preceded it and he deserved to get shot and killed. Well, that's a human being. That's not a dog. You think about people that get caught fighting dogs go to jail, but when an officer kill a black kid, he get to go home to his family.
That's it.
You know, and the other person has to battle with a death, you know, a traumatic situation at the hands of a person who didn't even think for a second, has himself. And I saw a video about 3 months ago where there was a white guy in the park. Now this white guy was in the park waving his gun.
Oh, yeah.
And he waved his gun at the officer, waved his gun at the police helicopter.
At the police helicopter.
And they stood out there for a while talking this guy down. This is a grown man.
Grown man.
They trying to talk him down. They shot him in the stomach.
Hi, I'm Atia Harris with Home Solutions Realty. I would love for you to really think about how much rent you've been wasting if you're renting a townhome, house, or condo. What I would love for you to do is take your rent, times it by 12, then times that by 5, and see how much money has been going out the door. You could have been transferring that money into a brand new home or an existing property, split level ranch with the basement, whatever you like. I would love to assist you in finding your home today and fulfilling all the desires that you want in a house and help you get all the benefits that come along with owning a property. Please give me a call at 704-287-9749. That's Home Solutions Realty, 704-287-9749. Let's get your house today.
My name is Cynthia Knight, Director of Castles Daycare Academy, here in Charlotte, North Carolina for more than 28 years, preparing children to be successful as they further their education. I have developed a curriculum entitled Achievement Rocks. It inhabits purposeful learning that encourages feelings of achievement in all children. Learning is fun. If you want your child to get an outstanding education while having fun prior to entering the school system, go to AchievementRocks, ROCZ.com, or call 704-563-7112, because brilliance is at work in the mind of a child.
But even more so than that, what about the dude who killed all the people in the movie theater in Colorado?
He's in prison
He
too.
shot 12 people dead.
Get to go to
When
prison.
they pulled up on him, they never fired one time.
You know this.
Brown had no weapon. Garner had no weapon. Told the officer, hold on, don't touch me. He put his hands like this and they choked him out. they portray us to be savages and beasts where we can't be controlled. But if you treat me like a dog and you act like I'm a dog, when I say something to you, what are you gonna do? Then you get mad when I want to fight, stand up for myself. You can't cut me deep and put a band-aid over and say, oh, I'm sorry. Everything that happens is not our fault.
You know, you look at this kid from Florida that graduated from college. His family done sent him up. You know, I think about my kids, you know what I'm saying? I hold my kids when they're young. This family done sent this boy up here just to visit. He get into a wreck.
Yeah.
And after his wreck, some woman says to the 911 call supposedly that he's trying to break into her house. How do you go from he's trying to break into my house? This guy's been in an accident just knocking on your door for some help.
Because you gotta look at the neighbor.
Right here in Charlotte.
Right here in Charlotte.
That's gonna be something. Because he shot at that boy, what, 10 or 12?
10 times. 10 times.
He shot at him 12 times.
Shot at him 12.
Hit him 10 times.
Hit him 10 times.
How do you explain that? I have a customer that's a police officer. And me and him discuss certain things, you know, and I asked him, you know, I probably shouldn't say but I have a client that's in law enforcement.
Right.
And what he told me was, if the first shot was justified, all the rest of them are too. As many as it takes to put them down.
Well, shit, first of all, Chris, what we gotta do, we gotta go back, man, and we're gonna talk about how do we start to try to change this. First of all, we gotta look at, first, do we get out here and vote? We gotta change these laws up. How are the police being trained? Who's training them? Who do we put in office who's being trained? That's what we gotta look at. Then you go back and you start, you know, you can make it a black-white issue, but if we go back into the home first, see, back then we had a village. Now, the village we had wouldn't allow us to get in trouble, because we got in trouble in school. You get a whooping in school, because they gonna call your mama, tell you finna paddle, or your daddy, right? Now, when you get that whooping, you're gonna get your grandmama, your grandpa, the next door neighbor, whoever else that know you got in trouble, you're gonna get that whooping when you go home. Now, I'm gonna start right there, but I'm gonna ask you a question. If you had given your child a chore of washing dishes, okay? Just to wash this, had the dishwasher by the time you get home. You didn't come home till 12 o'clock at night.
This is not washed.
And you realize that those dishes not washed. Do you A, go wake that child up at that point to go in and wash the dishes? Or do you B, wait 30 to 45 minutes before the time you get up and go to school, wake that tail up, sit him in there and wash them dishes then? Which one do you feel like is the better way to do it?
Now, just discussing this conversation with you, I'm gonna answer the way I think you want me to
No,
answer.
I want you to answer really. I want you to be
You know
real.
me, my dad would have woke my little red behind up. Now I've been at 2 o'clock in the morning washing the dishes.
Oh, when he came to the door, right?
Oh yeah, when he came to it's kaboom. Jimmy Caldwell in the room. You know, it's
But that's the village I'm talking about.
Dishes.
But that's the village.
Yeah.
See, nowadays, you got these young parents. This is what they do. I'm tired. I'm finna go lay down. I ain't finna deal with this tonight. The alarm clock gonna go off at 5 o'clock. I'm gonna wake my child up to go in there and wash the dishes then. What you just done, you woke this child up at 4:30 to go wash the dishes because you tired. Because you tired. So the child go wash the dishes at 4:30, right? What have you just created?
You just created a situation where that child is angry, mad,
Uh-huh.
and gonna take that with them throughout the rest of the day.
They gonna go to school with it. So when they go to school, the first thing that click in school and they explode, you get a phone call at your job. So when you get the phone call, you mad. But why are you mad? You created the situation. You started it.
But see, I hear you. You say you started it. I guess in my mind it wouldn't be I started it. My child started by disobeying me in the first place. But I guess it is more so because I'm the adult in the situation. My action to what they did or didn't do causes other reaction. That's just like right now. I got 2 daughters about to go off to college soon. Okay? And they're a little sassy, you know, got a little mouth in them. And I try to, hey, and I try to tell them, you know, you can't be that way with everybody. And I think you can help me on this. Because as a woman, you get off somewhere with a man, and you being to a point where when you talking in a certain tone, talking where this man feel like you talking down on him, condescendingly, disrespecting this man. You're a woman. You cannot physically overtake this man. You got to be aware of your surroundings and get back to where it's safe.
Exactly.
And I tell them, don't go off somewhere with that little sassy mouth, that little attitude, what you better do, ain't this, ain't that. Because you don't know the personality of this man.
Exactly.
Because so many girls have done that and then they come up missing and you don't see them. I want my child to come back home. Safely.
Exactly.
And see, what can you tell me or try to help me to understand when it comes to that part? Because it's not just the guys, it's our daughters too. Now our sons are prime targets because, let's be honest, half these kids I see, I deal with every day in this barbershop. I heard one dude come in here, you know, my little cousin just got locked up for doing the B&E. He ain't never done that before. He made straight A's in school. He messed up one time, and now he's finna give him all this time. I don't think that's right. My smart behind my mouth, he should have been in that house in the first place.
Right.
He lucky he didn't get killed.
Right.
Okay, now with me saying that, it's like, okay, I'm starting an argument or I'm stepping on some toes and saying stuff I shouldn't say. They get mad with me. Another example, the old man. Remember they tied him up and him and his wife? He got loose and chased them boys and found one of them and shot him. Now the old man getting death threats in his house from young kids, younger people, because they friend are gone. Your friend should have been in my house. Your friend should have smacked my wife with that gun. At some point, somebody got to be responsible for these kids. And I say things about these mothers, these single mothers, just because y'all love us. Y'all love these black kids to death. Y'all love these children to death. Y'all will do anything in the world to help and be there for your child. But sometimes,
you gotta let them bump their head.
Y'all can make that child worse by babying them so much.
Yep.
You gotta let him stand up on his feet. If you don't give him that act right at home, when the streets give him that act right, we're gonna be walking, burning candles, and doing something, all right?
It's totally different. You know, I have 2 children. My oldest one is 22 now, and my youngest one is 16. Every adversity that my 22-year-old faced, I did not sugarcoat it for my youngest child, so he could see the repercussions behind every consequences, because it's all about choices and decisions that you make. You have to keep your circle of friends close, and you can't just hang with anybody because you become guilty by association. And that's what happened to my oldest son. One night they had left the club. You know, he came home from college, his freshman year. So him and his high school friend were riding and they were leaving. My son said, Mama, after we talked, he said, I asked him what happened. He said that the police had pulled him over. His friend was driving a Cadillac, his daddy's car. So I asked him, I said, well, you need to tell me what's going on because I got a call from jail. And I told him, if I get a call from jail and it's not about self-defense, I'm not coming. So he told me after, he explained to me that they had gotten stopped. And I said, well, why did they stop y'all? He said the police said that the lights weren't on. The lights were not on the vehicle. So he said they pulled him over. And my son asked him, well, why did you stop us? And he said, your lights weren't on. So the other guy that was the driver had the locks with the gold at the end. And he said that, Mama, when I told the police officer that I was in school and I was going back to school Monday, he got upset with me. The police officer did. Handcuffed him and put him on had him over the car and his face. He said, Mama, I remember feeling the heat from that engine on that vehicle. And at this point, I'm just livid. And come find out, the other boy that had got arrested, they said my son's bond higher than the other guy. And I couldn't understand why that was. If my son wasn't the driver, and I told him, I said, I don't understand why your bond was higher, but I can kind of figure out why it was because you told them that you were going to college, going back to school. And that's when the police officer, he said, had got really angry and, became very aggressive towards him.
Lolly's, a catering company that provides delicious gluten-free food at affordable prices. At Lolly's, we have a large variety of dishes to choose from: appetizers, main course meals, and desserts. We are a restaurant on the go, and you can purchase plates or platters delivered directly to you. Call Lolly's today to order your gluten-free food, 704-674-2599, or visit us at LALIglutenfreeservice.com.
Have you heard that the wireless industry earns billions of dollars every year? That's right, billions of dollars every year. Start your own cell phone wireless business with no money. No money. One of our favorite plans includes a free cell phone with no credit check and no contract. PaidToTalk.net is looking for serious business partners to tap into the market. Go to www.paidtotalk.net today. That's www.paidtotalk.net or call 803-448-5584.
I teach them don't hit because I'm a victim of domestic violence, and I know firsthand how that is. I understand the fear and the tears that these women are experiencing. And they know what happened to me because I want them to know you don't ever put your hand on the lady. If you feel that it gets to that point, you need to walk away. But don't allow someone to hit you because those roles can be reversed. That woman can become the abuser because of things that she's experienced.
Lord have mercy. Praise God. I'm all surprised. I am so surprised to hear a woman say that. I am so surprised to hear a woman say that.
Yeah, I mean, it is so. I've been dealing with domestic violence for the past 7 years. And you know, my place of employment, which is at Crisis Assistance Ministries, I also deal with sexual assault victims. And you'd be surprised of not just the ladies that I interview, but some men that I've interviewed. And it takes more for a man to come in and say, I need help. Because men are taught not to hit. And sometimes that woman is taking advantage of that. So she's going to lash out, keep hitting because she knows he's not going to hit her. You know, but it's a sad situation, and that's why I do what I do. That's why I get out and volunteer at these different places, because when you put them all together, we fall under the same umbrella. We're fighting the cause, and we're standing together in unity to bring this some closure, because it's not getting any better, it's actually getting worse.
I think a lot of us are beginning to accept some things, just like they say they're gonna give those police officers a body cam.
What does that do?
And I thought about the body cam. You know, you had a camera sitting on Eric Garner, and this guy still got off. See, if you take that nugget and hush everybody up,
Come on, man.
you still have to change it.
Say it, man.
You know, and we allow things to keep going on. So like with your kids, you know, you had to be a police officer, you know, locking them up. And I've had to deal with kids. You got two, I got a whole football team. You know, and I thank God for them, you know, because it really brought me back down to where I need to be. You know, but in going through some of the changes I went through with them, and some of the friends, between your friends getting in games, and I'm touching them and they're getting out of games, you know, or knowing how to deal with those gang members, you know, it's something else, you know what I mean? But the thing that you can't allow, you know what I'm saying, is I don't care what a kid has been through, what you've been through does not determine who you can become.
That's it.
You know, and we got to stop letting them people teach our kids you're a criminal, so you did something wrong. Since a lot of people don't have a record, they just didn't get caught.
That's it.
And when you start thinking about people that just didn't caught, them people didn't commit just as many crimes as everybody else. They just didn't get caught, they didn't get convicted. They got a pass when they went to court. You know, some things happen where the police miss them. You know, those things happen, but you know, our kids, we have a society where, and this is what's you know, when I think about my young kids, and I just had a grandkid that was born, my first grandkid, sad son. You know, and I thought about, man, what kind of world is this war coming into?
You think about that, hey, with your kids, what about with my daughters? I mean, with these young black men that are coming up now, and not to cut you off, but I mean, come on, you had a grandbaby. With these young black men that are coming up now with these pants out there behind. I mean, the way they come, I'm a businessman, I own my own business. Okay, half of them come in, yo, you know what I'm saying, cuz I'm looking for, I don't want you on my place of business. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't want to hire you. Because you already got the attitude that you don't want to be productive, you're really on your own time, you don't care about your appearance. I mean, it's first perception is everything.
Absolutely.
First perception is everything.
A lot of these guys have hidden anger. So, use an example for your daughter, God forbid. If she says something that he doesn't like, or he feels that she is belittling him, then he's going to lash out.
Ooh,
and the sad part of it is,
as a father, what you gonna do?
And the sad part of that is that she may not tell you for fear of, she still likes this job.
Well, see,
And if I tell my dad, I know what's gonna happen.
That's right.
But see, we gotta see these signs. We
Baby
have
girl,
to see the signs.
me and you could talk for probably about 3 weeks
Yeah.
because I got so much stuff when it comes to women and love and situations and boys and what's wrong and because to me, the solution to most of this stuff to me, and I want you to put your input in, the solution to me is the man needs to be the father of his house.
Yeah.
He needs to be an example for these kids.
Mhm.
You need to be firm, even with the woman, okay? Y'all need to come together, y'all need to stand together firm. Because anytime one parent allows the other child to have fun or do something easier, they really don't want to do it. They take the easier route every time. You know, and I just think it has to be a different way.
Well, I mean, to me, like I said before, if we don't, as black men, first of all, we need to come together. If we come together and show these younger kids that we can stand right.
And just lead by example.
Right. If we can show them that we can do right. You know, that if I get into a confrontation with you, I don't have to pull out a gun to talk to you. I'm a man, you're a man. Let's sit down and talk about this. You know, nothing is worth killing anybody over. I mean, I just don't see it. My son got killed. So you can already imagine how I feel. You know, my son was killed by somebody who was supposed to be watched by the police. He was supposed to be in police eyes and all this. But for 48 hours, this dude killed 2 people, robbed 7 and carjacked 4.
He should have been like that before he even got to you.
But his whole family like that though. The mama went in for murder, the daddy and then now the mother murder and the brother left for murder. But see, it's a cycle. But if you don't start at home and you don't teach it, and if we as men don't stand up together, to come together and get into these communities, get into these schools now, it's gonna be worse.
Yeah, it's a dangerous time here, you know, and it's a lot of things that we can do. You know, one thing that we have to do, you know, we have to teach these kids, and that's something that got dropped. With our generation got taught, you know what, mind your business. And so we done taught our kids, you know what, do you.
That's
and
it.
this next generation ain't teaching them nothing. So, you know, we got to almost remold that thing. You know, and that's what's not happening.
Until we do that, do it.
It's gonna keep doing this right.
Because there's no structure.
That's
It's
right.
like Jell-O. It's all over the place. When
We
you
gotta come together.
I want to thank you guys for coming in and we talking about this because it's a serious thing because it's our children and we got to do something about it. If we don't lead by example, you know, history has a way of repeating itself.
Absolutely.
And it's just sad. It really is. This is Caldwell. Thank you for being in Shop Talk today. Hope you come again to see us.
This was Shop Talk. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next week.
Love you, then I hate you, then I love you again. Hate you, then I love you, then I hate you again. Lord.